Marsha does. Studied psychology and sociology at UGA and entered a career in social services in county, state, and federal government. She left this work uncomfortable with her role in the federal bureaucratic system and then studied therapeutic body work and opened a private practice, which she continues part-time today. She joined First E in 1980 and immediately became an active member. Reverend Lanier Clance invited her to be in his 3-year ministerial training program, which led to her request for ordination to be in 1992. I'm having trouble speaking today. Marsha served as the associate minister until Reverend Clance's retirement, then became the part-time fellowship minister when the congregation voted to become a fellowship. Marsha is active in social justice, LGBTQ plus rights, and providing supportive care to those in need, and she sure does. An Atlantan since 1969, she lives with her partner, Dr. Shirley Chansey, their very cute miniature Shetland sheepdog, Zeta, and loves to play in the dirt. Marsha welcomes your contact for fellowship and support. So please join me in welcoming Reverend Marsha Mitchiner.
Thank you, Jan. Oh, look at all of you. How wonderful it is to see you out there, especially on a rainy day in Georgia, that you got out and braved it. So glad that you're here today. The topic today is how do we live in chaos and maintain an open heart? I think one of the first things that I could say is, you come here. You come here, and you are with people who that you can feel comfortable with, and you can smile and hug and be honest and open and authentic with. That would be the first thing that I would want to say. But living in chaos and is not something that's just new to us. I mean, let's face it, ever since mankind has been, walking around and dealing with life, with the environment. I mean, there's been danger. There's been the need to look for shelter and for food and to be aware of dangers that are all around you. The same is true today. It just has different forms. We're not running from wild animals, but I'm for sure looking out for that motorist, driving that car, whether I'm walking or I'm driving. So that's a danger, especially if you live in Atlanta. That's the reality. But it's today, what we find is that housing cost and just the cost of everyday goods, food, the things that we need just for basic, living, everything gets more expensive. And yet it seems that our income doesn't quite, keep track with that. And we turn on the news and we hear about wars that are being fought in other countries, and the fact that some of our own soldiers are over there. I happened to come. My father was not in the military, but my brother went to a military college, and it was during the Vietnam era, and he joined went straight into the Army and served 2 terms in Vietnam, flying low-flying plane and helicopters. And fortunately for my family, he came back. But tomorrow is Memorial Day, and it's important to remember that not everybody came back, not just from Vietnam, but from other wars. And I hope that you will take a little bit of time tomorrow or whenever and just think about and remember and appreciate, the sacrifice that others, have given, so that we could have the opportunity to be here and to be able to argue about politics and what is the best way, to do things. So one of the things that bothers me the most when I look around at the chaos is how politics has created a lot of the chaos, that we have in the world. That's both from an economic standpoint. It's from the standpoint of, the wars that are being fought. It has to do with the relationship between countries and the relationship between people. When I was growing up, I was very aware of the fact that there was a two-party, basically a two-party system. But it didn't seem hostile to me growing up. I mean, it certainly seemed that there were times when it would be antagonistic, perhaps, but that I didn't worry about whether or not the people that were elected and were sitting in Washington were going to be sitting around a table and actually talking to one another and trying to communicate, one side and then the other side, and then to come to a compromise. Today's world is a lot more chaotic than that. The reality of Washington is something that, gives me great pause and great consternation and bothers me. I think it's one of the biggest, the political upheaval that's going on in our country is because of the ramifications of what that is doing. The fact that that the CDC is in disarray, the fact that we've stopped aid going to other countries, so that hundreds of listen, literally think about it. Think about the numbers and the reality of the fact that hundreds of thousands of children, in particular, are dying because we have stopped aid, to other countries. The fact that our relationship with other countries is tenuous and tense. That allies are not quite as happy with us, as willing to work with us, because of the chaotic sense that our own United States politics, has created. So chaos is everywhere, and so that's reality. So what do we do with it? It's not something that I can pretend doesn't exist, because that doesn't work. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't change the reality just because I don't want it to be that way, that I wish it was different. So what is that I can do to take care of myself, to keep myself open so that I don't lose my sense of who I am and the caring that I have, for other people, for what happens, in the world. How do I go about doing that? So I'm going to just tell you some things that I do. And you can, take from it whatever you want. But some people have already talked about one of the things that I think is real important to me, and that is being among people that I enjoy being around. We had a wonderful retreat last weekend. I mean, it was fun. We got to play games. We sang. We took little field trips to waterfalls. We took naps. We ate. We just sat around and talked and got to know each other. It was so... I actually relaxed. I mean, it was like stepping back and giving myself permission to just kind of shut that part out that is chaotic. I gave myself permission, to just be open and feel what was going on in the moment. Certainly as existentialists, I mean, that's something that we focus on and all the time is, being in the moment. A lot of times that's just hard. That is just hard to do, to be in the moment because there's so much going on, around us. But being at the retreat, it really offered an opportunity to be able to do that and to just enjoy sitting quietly, if that's what you wanted to do, and to be in conversation with people that I see here, but I don't know that well. So it gave me an opportunity to actually, get to know people. That's something that it's the connection with other people. It's the community, the sense of belonging, the sense of being a part of something that's important, a part of something that has meaning, and that I'm a part of that. I am. It's just like if you take any kind of structure and you take the pieces, I'm one of those pieces, just like you are one of those pieces. And that together, that we create something, that's meaningful, that helps me to get through. I don't know what, I'm sure I would survive, but I can't imagine not having this congregation in my life because of the people that are in the congregation. So connection, giving yourself, myself, permission, to be connected to other people, to be willing to be open and authentic. Picking up the phone and, calling somebody, that's that's a way of keeping a connection, with that has meaning, and that it doesn't change what's going on out here in the chaotic world, but it gives me a focus that feels satisfying, that gives me joy. Another thing that I personally really enjoy is I like trying new things. Now, at my age, a lot of the things that I would like to try, I can't do. But I can do things like I can go online and look at, what kind of courses that are offered by the Emory University OLLI program. Khan University has an incredible list of classes, and it's all free. Khan, Khan Academy. It's a free learning experience that's on the internet. And there are all kinds of things, meditations that you can go to. You can go to YouTube and just put a subject in and pull up just about anything that you want. Learning, giving yourself the experience to expand who you are, and not stay static. Oh, I don't know if y'all heard this. My hearing aid just said that my battery's going low. Fortunately, I can still speak even if my changing my internal landscape is an important avenue that I have, where I can just stop and sit quietly, enjoy. It has been wonderful to sit outside on my front deck, because we have wind chimes. I've put up wind chimes all along the eaves of the front deck, and the wind has been really nice, so that I can just sit there and just listen. I don't have to do anything. I just sit and listen and feel it, inside. Just allow myself to be open and appreciate something as simple, just as simple as the tone of a wind chime. I feel so much better when I have done that. I mean, I can get up and go inside and have to deal with, whatever kind of mundane activity, domestic things that need to be done, because I'm in a different place. I have changed my internal landscape. I have let myself feel as honestly as I can possibly feel, just by sitting quietly and letting myself be. You don't have to have wind chimes. I mean, you can find something, online if that's the kind of thing that works for you, or even to just to sit. Animals animals are something that are can be an important way to change your mental landscape. When I have a little dog, and all she has to do is come up and put her nose on my hand, and I can feel my body shift. I can feel my body change. Riley came in a little while ago, and I was sitting in the chair, and Riley came over and very calmly, but very specifically said, "Pet me." There was no question that what was in Riley's head, it was "pet me." Animals know how to do it. Animals know, how to express need and desire and want, and so I enjoy it, and it made me feel good, to pet Riley. Although Bill did tell me that Riley decided to take a little nip of my coffee while but fortunately, Riley only drank just a little, so I still had plenty in my cup to finish out. If you are fortunate enough to have someone special in your life, a spouse or a partner, or someone that just has a very special meaning, to you, to take the time to actually sit and have a conversation, to talk about what your day was like, to talk about how you're really feeling, to just feel the presence of one another. Maybe if you're lucky, you can have good sex. I mean, it's the connection. It's that feeling of being a part of something that together, how strong, that can make you feel when you know that there's someone, that shares your life. But it doesn't have to be a partner. It doesn't have to be that kind of level of intimacy. You can still just make contact, with other people, make that connection. Maybe at some point during the service, you can look around and see somebody that you've noticed before, and you've thought, she looks like, like she would be somebody I'd enjoy talking to, but you've never done that. So maybe after the service, that would be the time to go up to that person and to just have a conversation, and let yourself just be at ease, in somebody else's presence. Or take it the next step and say, what if we go, at some point and grab lunch, or let's go get coffee. Something that, gives you an opportunity to deepen the connection, to learn something more about somebody else, to find out what makes them tick, to ask them, what is on their mind, what makes them happy. Laugh. Do a lot of laughing. That's something that I feel like in my life that because I don't have the same social outlet that I had, for so many decades, that I don't laugh as much as I used to. So I like to turn Frasier on, find some old episodes of Frasier, and nothing will make me laugh. I appreciate it more now than I did the first time, that I saw it. And you might have your own, favorite sitcom or something that makes you laugh. But doing those kind of things, taking time out, to laugh and feel good. Everything doesn't have to be serious and difficult 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can give yourself permission to step away and take care of yourself, to let yourself be relaxed, to feel happy, to laugh, because it's still going to be there when you come back. Unfortunately, that's the reality too. But you come back, I come back, and I feel like I can face it again, that I can, that have more inner strength, more the fact that I'm relaxed. I feel calmer, and that I can deal with it. I don't watch as much news as I used to. I've always considered myself a news hound kind of person, and so watched hours and hours, of news, especially starting during COVID. I really, I became a junkie with evening, news and reading the different periodicals that I get and stuff. But I realize now that sometimes you can just be overloaded, that you don't have to know every single thing that's going on. You don't have to hear what every politician has to say about, what has gone on during the day, or to hear the pundits, to analyze, what's going on. Sometimes it's just good to just turn off and give yourself a break, from knowing what all is going on, because it will be there, when you come back. There's no doubt about that. One of the things that I'm not good about, but I know how essential that it is, and that is getting good sleep. I don't have very good sleep habits. I tend to stay up too late, and then have to get up and go about my day. And so I'm not as refreshed and bright and cheery as I could be if I had gotten some good sleep. But I'm working on it, because I know how important it is. When I get enough sleep, then I know that that my brain is in a better place, that I can focus better, that I can think better, and that helps me to get through the day. none of these things are earth-shattering or anything. They're just basic, ways of being in the world, and making choices. Making choices. That's how we get through the chaos. And being aware that other people are experiencing the same chaos or worse than we are, then, that's important, because it keeps us alive. It keeps us aware that what we can do, is not huge, perhaps, but the little things that we can do, to help, other people. Anything from, donating money to a cause that you really care about, bringing goods, for our food barrel over here. Picking up the phone and calling Edith or Betsy or Diane, or sending them a text message or something, or somebody in your life, that that is having a hard time. Keeping your heart open, to what's going on, to other people. That's a way of giving yourself more fullness, in your own life. And little things, it's like, I love to play in the dirt. I'm fortunate enough that I've got a garden in my yard. And I'll be digging in the garden to plant something, and I will. Am I not speaking into the mic? Oh, okay. Speak up. Okay. I'll come across a worm, and as I'm digging, and I'm really careful, because I'll take that worm and I will put it over in another little part of the garden, because I don't want to cut it in half. I don't want to chop it up. So I pick up that worm and I put it over there. And you know what? That makes me feel good. I have just saved that little worm. Isn't that silly? But it makes a difference. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel good, because I know that little worm, not only is that little worm going to live, but that little worm's going to do good in my garden. It's going to do things, keep the dirt all mixed up and stuff. So there are lots of things that these are the things that make a difference for me. I know there are things that you have in your life, that are personal to you, that give you joy, that keep you open, that give you a sense of purpose, or that just make you feel good. That's the way that we get through chaos, I think, is allowing ourselves to interact with others, to make connections with others, and to be okay with, in spite of all the negative things that are going on, that we can feel joy, that we can allow ourselves to feel joy. I hope that you'll think about the ways that you do things, and if you see a little worm today because of the rain that's stuck on the pavement or something, pick him up and put him over on the grass, please.
Thank you so much, Marsha. I have to apologize. I forgot to read the community announcements.